This is R2D Tech, and following on from my last video on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, as I promised to some of you in the comment section, this video is going to be all about some accessories that you can get to go with it. So let's get into it. The first thing which was quite highly requested was a good screen protector to protect this amazing Super AMOLED 120Hz display. And for this purpose I chose an IVSO tempered glass screen protector, which I think is just about as durable as you'll find them, so is really good for protection. Now the pack I think comes with 2 screen protectors and I believe an installation kit. So even if you do mess up the first time like I probably would, you do have a backup. Now this is around $15, which I think is quite a reasonable price to pay for this level of protection. Also though, in that screen protector category, I did choose another one called Paperfeel, which is also around $15 or $16, and it's made of plastic, so it's not as durable. But the main purpose of this one is, if you've heard of something called Paper-like for the iPad, the purpose is to make it feel like you're writing on paper. So it makes the sound, it provides a bit more friction, and it probably makes it a bit easier to write, especially if you're planning on taking notes on this device. Now again, this is definitely not as durable as a glass screen protector because it is made of plastic, but if you do want to use your tablet primarily for handwritten notes with the S Pen, then you might want to consider something like this as well. Obviously though, a good screen protector will only go so far in terms of protecting your device, so for the first year at least, I definitely recommend getting a good case as well. Now, I know Samsung make a couple of options and we will get onto those a bit later, but the problem is they are very expensive, so I thought I'd also throw in a bit of a budget option. I found one called the Soke Case. That's definitely not how you pronounce that, by the way. And I think it's quite nice because it has got PU leather, which makes it seem a bit more premium than other cases I found, but it's also got hard shell around the edges, so will definitely protect your device quite well. Now it closes like a book cover as well, so it will protect the display along with your screen protector when it's in your backpack or you're taking it around. But I did like it as well because it's got a couple of places where you can put the S Pen when you're either carrying it around or using it. Now another good feature about this case is it has a couple of ways of propping up the tablet, so you can either prop it upright in 2 different angles, or you can even fold the cover all the way back around the back, and then you can just write on it like a normal tablet on a table, especially if you're using it for like handwritten notes. So I just thought that was a good option. It is around $25, which might seem like a lot, but if you compare it to Samsung's options, it's a lot cheaper, trust me. Next up, with such a powerful tablet like this, you definitely want to be able to use it as a full-on laptop or desktop experience. Now the laptop experience we'll get onto later because I do think Samsung's option for this is the best one at the moment, but in terms of using it as a desktop with Samsung DEX, you will need a keyboard and a mouse if you want to do that. So for the keyboard I chose the Logitech K780, which looks really nice but it's also really functional and is a full-size keyboard, which I think is really important for a desktop system. Now it can connect to the tablet via Bluetooth, which is really handy, but it can also connect to multiple devices, so you don't need to disconnect and connect every time, which can get kind of annoying. Now another reason I did like this is that it has a built-in stand for the tablet, which I think is really cool. You don't necessarily need to use this if your tablet case has a stand of its own, but I just think if they're giving you the extra functionality there, then why not use it? In terms of the mouse, I chose a Bluetooth mouse so you can connect it to your tab without any wiring, and that's the Logitech Pebble. Now the main reason I chose this is that it's got a really nice, small, compact and clean design, so you can throw it into your backpack and it won't take up a lot of room. Now the second reason I chose this is that it's got an almost completely silent click, which might be annoying for some people, but I think if you're a student and you work in public places or libraries or even in an office, then having a silent click can be really useful so you don't annoy the people around you. Now this mouse costs around $20, which isn't too crazy for a mouse. I've seen other mice that cost like $100, so I think it's a pretty good deal for what you're getting. The keyboard that we talked about before is around $43, So if you get both of these, it will cost you around $63, which yes, seems very high, but if you compare it to some of the competition, especially for the quality that you're getting, I think it's a pretty good deal. Next up, whenever you get a tablet like this, be it a Samsung tablet or even if you join the dark side and got an iPad. Wait, I'm using an iPad Pro right now, so does that make me like Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Point is, you're probably going to want an adapter, so I found a $20 one from Anker, which isn't too expensive and they're quite a reliable brand. And this will give you an HDMI port, an SD card slot, micro SD card slot, and yes, even 2 USB 3.0 ports. This should be plenty, especially if you're a creator, and I definitely recommend getting something like this if you're planning on using the tablet with the Samsung DEX mode as a full-on desktop experience. Now, what I will say is that you can't charge the tablet through this adapter, so that's the only downside, but I don't really think it's a deal breaker. Now let's get on to the first Samsung product, which I kind of held off until now because it's so expensive, and that's the Samsung book cover, which is around $74. Now, I did recommend another case earlier, which was a lot cheaper, I think $24, and I personally would probably just go with that, just because I wouldn't want to spend $74 on just a book cover. Now, I will say though that the one by Samsung will probably be a bit more premium, and it will also be slightly better fit to the tablet just because it is made by Samsung. Now, the really important thing to mention with this specific product, at least where I live, is that if you pre-order the tablet, you can actually get this for free. So it is a really nice product and you might definitely want to look into that. Now, the next Samsung product, or Samsung as Tim Cook called it, is actually the Samsung keyboard cover. And this is actually a really useful product. So it's a keyboard cover and it also has a trackpad. So if you want to use the device as more of a portable laptop rather than a sort of desktop experience with keyboard and mouse, then this might be what you're looking for. The only problem is it's £220, or must be around $220 in the US as well, which is really expensive. But compared to Apple's Magic Keyboard, which I think is upwards of $300, it's not actually that crazy, especially for the functionality. Now, I do believe this comes in two parts, a back cover which magnetically attaches onto the back of the tablet, and also a keyboard section. So you can actually use these separately, and it's kind of like getting two products in one. So it is a really good product. Now, the last product I'll mention is an Anker power brick, mainly because the power brick you get in the box with the Galaxy Tab is not a 45 watt power brick, but the tablet can actually charge at 45 watts. Now, this Anker power brick is $42, and there's not much of a way to get around the high price tag. Personally, I wouldn't really spend the money on it, but if you do want to buy a faster power brick, then this is probably the one. You get a USB-A port and a USB-C port. So even though the power brick is 60 watts, it delivers 45 watts out of the USB-C port and 15 watts out of the USB-A port. So you'll probably want to use the 45 watt USB-C port to charge your tablet. Now, this is also useful because it has those two ports, so you can charge your phone and tablet at the same time, which is a nice additional feature. But also 45 watts is quite high, so you could probably even charge your laptop with this, which is also quite a nice additional feature. So those are the accessories that I picked out for the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. I hope they were the ones you were looking for in the comment section of my last video, and if not, comment below and I'll try and make a follow-up video. Now, I definitely like making videos like this which are requested because they're more useful for you guys, so please let me know if there's any more requests for the next video. If you did like the video, then please leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, then maybe consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell below. Thanks.